Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Today we are going to talk about XRP and Bitcoin. But before we do that, let's take a look at pricing because things are actually looking positive today. Bitcoin up in the last 24 hours, 3.26%, sitting at 73,949. I haven't checked, but that's been the highest it's been in a little while. Ethereum up 10.27% in the last 24 hours, sitting at 2,314. And XRP at the number 4 spot, up 6.74% in the last 24 hours, sitting at $1.51 and has moved back into the 4th spot ahead of Binance. So there you have it. Things moving in the right direction. Certainly nice to see. Who knows if we'll have another drawback. You got to kind of expect it in this market, but nice to see us moving in the right direction. So let's talk about XRP and Bitcoin. I get the question a lot, what's the difference between XRP and Bitcoin? If you're just dipping your toes into crypto and feel overwhelmed by all the jargon, this video is for you. I'll break it down super simply using everyday analogies and explain their unique use cases. Plus, I'll show how XRP can actually complement Bitcoin in the bigger picture. Stick around. This shouldn't take that long, and by the end, you'll feel way more confident chatting about these at your next family dinner, should you choose to do so. Let's start with the basics. Imagine Bitcoin as digital gold. Back in 2009, a mysterious person or group of people named Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin as the first cryptocurrency. It's like a rare shiny metal you dig up. Miners use powerful computers to solve complex puzzles, which secures the network and creates new Bitcoin. This process is called proof of work, and it's energy intensive, kind of like running a bunch of air conditioners in the desert, if you will. Bitcoin's total supply is capped at 21 million coins, making it scarce just like gold. That's why people call it a store of value. Think of it as a safe in your digital wallet where you park money to hedge against inflation or economic uncertainty, which a lot of people are doing today. You can use it for payments, but transactions take about 10 minutes and can get pricey during busy times, sometimes $10 or more in fees. Now, shift gears to XRP. This one came along in 2012, created by folks at Ripple Labs, including David Schwartz and others. Unlike Bitcoin, it isn't mined. All 100 billion tokens were pre-created. It's built on the XRP ledger, which uses a consensus protocol. Basically, a group of trusted validators agree on transactions super quickly without all that energy guzzling mining like with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is digital gold sitting in a vault, XRP is like digital oil flowing through pipelines. It's just designed for speed and efficiency, handling up to 1,500 transactions per second, with settlements in just 3 to 5 seconds and fees under a penny. That's why it's geared towards real world utility, especially in finance. So let's take a listen here to Patrick Bet David. Here, a post from Good Evening Crypto. It says breaking at Patrick Bet David compares BTC and XRP and Trump U.S. crypto reserve. Let's take a listen here. So there you have it from Patrick Bet David. That's just one person's point of view. But I will say, obviously, you got to do your own research. I think they both will survive and both do well into the future. So let's build off that now. Shift gears to XRP. We talked about that. It's geared towards real world utility, especially in finance. Um, why are they different? At their core, it's purpose and tech. Bitcoin is decentralized to the max. No single company controls it, and it's all about preserving value through scarcity. But that makes it slow and expensive for everyday stuff. XRP, on the other hand, is more centralized in its origins. Ripple holds a big chunk, but it's optimized for transferring value, not hoarding it. Bitcoin's blockchain is like a slow armored truck hauling gold bars across the country. XRP is like a high speed train zipping packages from city to city. Energy wise, XRP is 99% more efficient than Bitcoin, which is huge in a world about climate impact. And while Bitcoin fights inflation like a shield, XRP burns a tiny bit of itself with each transaction, making it slightly deflationary over time. So let's take a look at this post from at Kurt underscore Costa. He says Bitcoin and XRP will coexist without issue, along with Ethereum, XLM, and several other cryptocurrencies having utility. In fact, XRP has more practical utility and upside growth potential than BTC, and retail is free to participate in all of it. Bitcoin is even being tokenized with XRP. So a great post there by Kurt Costa. Um, we'll look at another post here by X Finance Bull, but let's continue on. Let's talk about the use cases. Bitcoin shines as an investment asset. Institutions like it as a hedge. Think MicroStrategy or even countries like El Salvador treating it as a legal tender. It's great for peer to peer payments if you're not in a rush, but not ideal for buying coffee. XRP's sweet spot is cross border payments and remittances. Banks and payment providers use it through Ripple's on demand liquidity to settle international transfers instantly without tying up billions in pre funded accounts. For example, sending money from US to Mexico, Bitcoin might take hours and cost a fortune. XRP does it in seconds for pennies. It's like upgrading from snail mail to email for global finance. Now, here's the cool part XRP doesn't compete with Bitcoin, it can actually help it. In the crypto ecosystem, XRP acts as a bridge asset, providing liquidity to move value between different currencies or networks quickly. This means you could use XRP to swap Bitcoin for fiat or other assets without the usual delays. For instance, Bitcoin can even be tokenized on the XRP ledger, making it easier to use in fast payment scenarios. Together, they create a more robust system. Bitcoin as the solid store of value, XRP as the efficient mover. It's like gold, which is Bitcoin, needing oil, which is XRP, to lubricate the economy's engine. So, here from X Finance Bull, people still don't compare XRP to Bitcoin like they're the same thing. They're not. Bitcoin, slow energy, heavy, not built for payments. XRP, 1,500 transactions per second, 3 to 5 second finality, 99% more efficient. One store of value, one moves it. Know the difference, is what this guy is saying, which I think is great, great feedback. So let's move on to even more information here and talk. So to make it more real, let's go there. Like to make it more real, let's pull in some examples from X, formerly Twitter, where the community loves debating this, and we'll continue with Bree Teresi here. She says a few days ago, a friend of mine asked me why I love XRP so much, and it's how different from Bitcoin it is. It's a great question that anyone can needs to understand. David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, and Arthur Brito set out to build a blockchain that was faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient than Bitcoin. They launched the XRP ledger. So she goes on to say a number of things here as to why it's different and why XRP is better in this case. She is a bit of an XRP maxi, but that's okay. So important to understand who you're watching out there on social media, who you're listening to, and why they're saying the things they're saying. Um, Critically important to understand that. So, Bitcoin and XRP are both revolutionary. They're both built for different jobs. Bitcoin's your digital gold for holding wealth. XRP is your fast lane for moving it around the world. And in tandem, XRP can boost Bitcoin's usability. If this cleared things up, hit that like button, subscribe for more crypto breakdowns, and drop a comment. Which do you prefer, Bitcoin or XRP, or like myself, both? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.